Hello there, welcome to another video. Today I'm just going to go over a couple of 1v1s that I was sent by Raphiel. So it's between himself as Jedi Master 69 versus Hfrye. So Raphiel here in the grey as the Gungans and Hfrye here as the blue Gungans. So mirror matchup here, map being desert, as you can see by the desert-like lookingness of it. And in terms of the food, there seems to be a Ronto, a couple of nerfs, a few EOPs. More than one Ronto, so we've got about 3 Rontos there. These two in a bit of an awkward spot though. So you can see it's already a fair distance, like diagonally straight from the old command center here, but then you've got the carbon rocks in the way as well, just making it worse. So the players are probably going to want to eat the nerfs, to be honest, because there doesn't seem to be an advancement on 2. So they would want to eat those in the early game, maybe eat one, then find some hunt, clear that, and it looks like Hunter's got even worse hunt here because all 3 of his Rontos are behind this carbon. And in between the cliffs as well. I wonder if he's going to find those in a reasonable amount. He does see them. He sees how bad things are. Great stuff. If only this was actually a gap, because it sort of looks like it might be a gap, but it's not. It's absolutely not. He's going to have to go all the way around and lure those. Bad times. We can see Raphael here maybe thinking about getting his carbon. He's not too sure. He's walking back and forth. He's indecisive, and it looks like he's actually on his way to get the Ronto. That'll be the first of these Rontos for himself. And you see that this Glargling absolutely got basic training. He's not been hit yet though. Bit of a chad this one. He's almost made it back before he's going to get hit. This guy go. There you go. So 400 food being delivered right to the command center. And the worker's going to go over here. Very nice carbon though. I mean, this is right up against the edge of the map. You can sort of close it out, almost like a left and a right sort of wall, sort of towards the command center here. And there's a lot of flat surface area too, where you could farm quite safely. It's a very nice little area here. Whereas on the other side of things, Raphael's area is going to look a lot more open, and he does have like hills sort of going around his base, which can feel kind of bad if you end up on the defensive. And your opponent's, utilising these hills to sort of run down them and shoot your workers and then run back up them if you try to call them out on it and take a trade. And we can see this worker's going to be going to get the other Ronto. I'm going to speed up a little bit just to get through this early game because there's only so much you can say about it all. You can see he's going to maybe like build towards the CC here. Very quick to go for a food processor here, I think, on these EOPs. Just going to grab up that 280 food for these two. And map not too fair in that regard, but there's only like one EOP here with the Ronto. However, I'd say it's a decent trade with how like defensively awesome this is. Either way, it's never going to be 100% the same or equal. Unless you start playing like static maps like Age of Empires have. But hey, the RNG is something fun and it makes the players play different. I'm going to be luring the last Ronto down here. You can see the Hunter dropping the farms a little bit quicker than his opponent because he's not eating the EOPs. This is only really one. Oh! Can I get an F in the chat for that one? Glargling down. Kicked to death. Oh. Oh, this is a bad being housed here. Oh, 4 worker pool. Well, that's evened up the execution of that worker down here. And the worker's looking a little bit inefficient here. You might want to get a second carbon processor. Players are probably just going to have to get like a bunch of farms now, and going to have to find a little middle ground between getting the troop centres and the farms. But there should be a lot of food, because that's like 1200 food just from the Rontos. Should really get them somewhat close to thinking about T2. Raphael definitely going to be the quicker one here because of the TVO piece. That little 280 food injections got him very, very close to just the 500 count here. It's going to reflect here if we go back to Hfrye. Well, he's actually doing quite well with the farms, the consistency of the farms. He hasn't got in the troop centre yet, though. He's dropped a lot of carbon on the farms here. You can see that they're very much ahead here, actually, with the power corners of the troop centres. Right, maybe making too many farms right now. I mean, he's like 600 food right now. But I think what might be getting him right now is the concept of the building rule. Because you're going to need 3 buildings to tack up, and he's only got the 2. So he needs the troop sector to tack up, since there's not been any nursery. And what we'll see is if we cut back to Raphael here, he's just hit T2 ahead of his opponent, and he's got the troopers already built out, 4 of them here, and he can start adding on his farms later. I do think it probably could have squeezed in like a second carbon. Look at these guys. All over the place. But these troopers are going to get across the map before Hfrye is here. He's also kind of really been quite ambitious with the troop centre placement here and built it very far forward, which is kind of bad. Like, if he got camped here, if these troopers like manage to get on top of this and just hold this position and then reinforce with a few more, he'll never get the troopers out to defend himself. Plus, he's not T2 yet. Halfway there, the troopers have stopped to just shoot at the troop centre for a lot, so he lost a few seconds there of damage that he could have been getting out here. And these troopers are going to have to be built and like garrisoned inside the troop centre. And he's going to have to run like workers and stuff because he's going to need turrets. He could be building maybe turrets here, switches carbon here right now, but he's going to get some workers killed off for sure. Only gets 1, but these 3 have been left abandoned here, and this guy's low from luring earlier, I guess. That's 2. 3. And a 4th worker going to go down. A few troopers are heading over here now. I've got the trooper upgrade, they don't have the range. I know they're just Raphael actually. Definitely working on his eco here. Interesting to see what he decides to do off of this. So he's going to be 4 workers ahead just from all that. And he can send more troopers out, but it's not a lot. It's going to be about the same really when they crash together here, so... Building another food processor. Not happy with where he's building his farms here. So he's getting a food processor to try and make it feel a bit more efficient. It's nice that he's going up towards the edge, it'll feel a bit safer. A couple of those troopers getting caught inside the middle of the map here by Hfrye, and he's sort of switched up the tempo now, and now he's just sort of attacking. And you can see 1 turret being built, and some good sort of walling going around here just to sort of close out this position a bit, and delay any troops getting round into this carbon. And a bit of a skirmish here in the centre of the map, but a lot more troopers here for Hfrye here, and he's just taking good trade after good trade now. And he's pushing Raphael back into his base. He's going to have to really push out some troopers and clean this up. A lot more troopers in the centre of the map that could be like barreling towards Raphael here, but they are not. A turret would have been pretty harsh to deal with, looking at like you just kind of just got this one big, it is a big fat carbon rock here, but a turret would definitely knock you off the spot at this very moment. He did only make 1 defensive turret himself, so he could have afforded an offensive turret here. If it was just like here or here, we maybe got that up during this period here where he's got some control around Raphael's base. I almost feel like a sort of a death blow there, because there's just this carbon to go for. Doing a good job not overextending with these troopers. He's not really lost any of them yet, but he is harassing, forcing some garrisons. And these guys are really struggling on this 1 carbon processor. A lot of troopers now, like the defender's advantage sort of kicking in, and there's a lot in the middle of the map that he's just not rallying over, so... you're going to take this trade. He's doing surprisingly well, I think, because of the hill bonus there. That was like a high roll on top of the hill bonus, I think, to trade that evenly with the difference in the numbers. And they're going to fight again, but Hunter's going to win this, just because he's got a bit more in their health here. There are a couple of guys rallying in as well, just to ensure that is the case. And he's getting a lot of time here just to do what he wants at home. places farms where he wants, and it's such a nice closed off base. I know the way that there's carbon rock clusters respond. See Raphiel feeling compelled to go and take this horrible carbon just because, yeah, there's not many spots left. You could probably have eaten this as well though. Could have 3 spots I suppose. Providing he can just keep his troopers alive, and you know, if he walks over here he can take the trade. He should be okay. See, he's thinking about you move towards it. It's kind of in the back of his head. You can see just a march of blue Gungans across the map here. Right, just grabbing one of those troopers there, posturing. Does get this worker who's running around there, not enough spots in the carbon. Just try to go around it. Gonna take a trade on top of the hill here. Got a lot more troopers for Raphiel here, so he's winning this trade despite the hill advantage. It looks like there's been a bit of a lapse in the trooper production as well for Hfrye here. Which is not great for him here when he's losing his troopers, because he's kind of lost all his momentum now. He had a pretty good sort of like contain here in Raphiel's base, but he's broken it now by taking this hill from him. And he's going to be able to freely move out across the map again. Let's just have a quick look. Let's see what the difference is here. So despite the terrible 1 carbon processor antics, he's still very much ahead in the carbon, and I think that's maybe reflected in the fact that there's just 4 workers that were, you know, immediately killed from the early game aggression there. Yeah, it does show sort of 5 workers ahead. It's been quite a while since that point too, so it's a lot of time for that to pay off. And I think with such nice carbon as well, we could probably have a carbon processor here. And a lot of these guys are just being very inefficient too. Yeah, this would have been nice. A bit of downtime here, both players just, they're probably kind of just thinking about, well, that's petered out a bit, what about, you know, like T3? And you can see that Hunter's building like a gate here. I'm curious if this is actually walled. I can't really see how these rocks and the cliff interact. He feels a bit emboldened, I guess, because he's got this gate and this wall now to move his troopers out, but he's going to be crashing into an amount this season. It's about 50% more troopers here for Raphiel. And what we could note as well, that he's got the +1 attack from the War Center upgrade here. Let's see, Hfrye looking to take that hill, but you could just crash into him here with the superior trooper count. And with the +1 as well, very likely to win it. It's just going straight in. But won't be able to, once winning this trade, get into the base, it would seem, since the wall is up. You see that both players are very similar, like them close to getting to T3, but it looks like... Oh, maybe not. I'm being baited by historical things here. So Raphiel not too close to T3, but Hunter is here. I'm assuming there's been some corners being cut. Getting the buildings here. A lot of farms for both players. He's still building troopers. Assuming that's what it is, yes. So we had Hunter stop building troopers for a little bit here. Cutting corners to get that button click up to T3. It shouldn't really be too long now. And he did this was a gap then, so he has closed this off with a prefab shelter. Shouldn't be too long for Raphiel to do the same, because you can use the spaceport as well and trade some of the resources away. Like, he's got a lot of carbon and a lot of food. But he's probably going to have a much better economy here, since he's not really cut corners in the same manner. And he does still have these troops to sort of put a bit of pressure on and be annoying with as well. And he can send this other group out. And hopefully they can delay for him here while he gets himself up to T3. Just click the button here and you can see that reflected in the sort of lead for T3. annoying at the back. Maybe try to kill off a prefab shell and open the wall up a little bit for later. Or at least give Hunter something to shoot at rather than initially his workers in his base here. So Mech Factory, probably going to need a power droid here, the way that he's built it. Not really much room around the Thunder Core. Hunter now, T3, double Mech Factory, looking to get the air base as well. The benefit, at least, of his forward facing cover core is they had a lot of space around it, so he's managed to get all his buildings around it. And a bit of misplay there, losing a couple of workers. That was like sort of repairing the gate. And you might get this open. Is he going to forget about this? If these guys walk in and get some worker kills, that's a poor move. You could maybe rally the fighters to deal with this. No, he's just going straight on the aggression. These guys are going to walk in and grab some worker kills. There's only one turret over here. It's like he's almost forgotten about this. He's letting these two groups of troopers have been too effective for him. And now when he sends the units forward, like he thought he had a bit of a window here, there's already a mech destroyer out and there's only really one fighter. He can make some like anti-air troopers, he can make his own fighters, he's got 2 air bases anyway. He's got quite a few workers here. Did force an anti-air turret. I'm interested about this turret decision here. Maybe just a little bit panicky. Maybe be hoping to use it to defend like strike mech aggression, I guess. He's got a lot of mech destroyers now though. He's going to build up a superior fighter count at the moment because he's double air base versus 1 air base. Maybe feels compelled to go double air base here anyway because of the wall that Hunter's managed to get up. Hunter being very ambitious moving these fighters out with his control group of strikes here, and they're just going to instantly die, I think, when this gets surged forward. It's a 2-shot kill, and you could kill them both initially, chasing after them. And walking up into 3, like a superior mech destroyer count, I think is kind of just throwing these units away. Maybe a little bit tilted or fed up with the way that the game's gone here, but it seems like an enormous misplay. And with all this air superiority, you could defend with bombers now as well. We're still on 1 command center here at the moment. Both players on 1 CC. To be fair, on this left hand side of the base, not really much room for a command center with the way that hill's formed. That forward CC. Not very fair, he's going to feel very safe now with the air superiority. He's surging forward with fighters. Do we have much anti-air? We do have some turrets around. Not really covering the ore though, and that's a lot of workers that are going to go down when you're just trapped on 1 command center. You have to run away, run to the turret. I feel not catching them too much, but these guys are completely exposed as well, and even higher, like 3 times the amount of workers here. There's enough fighters there to one-shot the workers. Big amount of casualties here. And again, not really seeing another command center. Just now a heavy weapons factory, just sort of going all in here, but I think he's just going to crash against the rocks and just be completely outscaled in terms of the economy. I think the Hunter is just sort of misread when he got to T3 quicker. Like how much of a window he has to all in and kill off his opponent. Really, maybe should have just treated it as still being an even game, and I don't think the troopers really should have been allowed to get in here and get some kills. You might have beat Raphiel to T3, but it wasn't enough of a lead to like super punish him with any of the T3 units. So I should have just taken it a bit slower, I think. Got into command centers up and stuff. And getting these units together and stuff, but like, he's gonna get caught in like the middle of the map. He's not getting to like stand in the economy or anything like that. And it's gonna be the fortress here. It's gonna close out this little gap here. I can't really think of like a good thing to do with this army other than maybe standing about here. But then you're pushing up into a hill. I'm gonna run here, see the units. Slightly better upgrades here for our Hunter. It's 51 workers to 84, so you're going to see those extra command centres really kicking in, plus all the casualties that were suffered. And fighting within range of the fortress here into a hill, not a very good trade at all. Not enough mech destroyers. And as I said, it's just like crashing against the rocks here. And the air starting to pick off these units as well, helping out the mech destroyers. With the anti-air mobiles going down, it's going to eliminate a lot of threats to make more anti-air mobiles, and can't really afford all this. What this is really just going to translate to is getting pinned back into his own base, and then a forward going up, and then artillery and things that you can't really deal with because you don't have the economy. It's certainly taking it slow. Can't see the units posturing at the front. Would just like to see a few workers come forward now and just maybe get the heavy weapons factory up. Economy nicely spread out. Decent amount of workers on Nova. Like to maybe see this Nova pile grabbed up as well. Heavy weapons factory slammed down and just artillery getting thrown out to start bashing down in the front of the space. And put the pressure on. There's plenty of stuff to keep them safe. Famba's really nice. Famba's super OP in T3 because if you look at the armor's just crazy. So like these mech destroyers, strike mechs can't really do anything about it. I think with all this just sitting here, just need some splash anti-building damage. And Hunter again going to move out into the middle of the map. It's going to take some really bad shots here, and then there's going to be the shield as well. His opponent hit T4. He might just decide to throw in the towel soon, I would have thought. Moving at the anti-air mobile speed, running away there, and heavy weapons factory is going to get dropped. I can maybe see some cannons get sent as well. Yeah, one queued up here. And there's not really going to be a way to deal with those. And having all the fighters can get fast fighter as well. Go do a bit of raiding. Oh, get an advanced fighter as well. Wow. Gungan advanced fighter. Classic temple right next to Holocron. Maximum laziness. What is this transport route? And a lot of workers going to go down for like 3 CC. See how quickly they die here. Yeah, and he's going to quit off that. So GG. Interesting game. Certainly had potential to go both ways, particularly in the early game, I think, but yeah, I think it kind of just got thrown away when Hunter hits T3 there. You should have just taken that a lot slower and played a more sort of proper economic T3 game. Just treat it as a balanced matchup rather than him having a massive lead there. Go to the next one. So again, Desert, this time it's going to be the Wookiees, so Wookiee mirror here. Looks like a very similar type of map. We're going to have like an extra 2 Banthas, but 1 less Ronto. What's this? You get up to 6 Banthas. 5, 1, 6. So 6 nurse. Be pretty good. So I have the nursery here. I'll count towards the building rule, so there won't be the same mistake as last time. So I could definitely see Mounties as an opener. going to lure it, and the worker's going to be eating that. That'll be the last panther there. So, going to be a bit of downtime. T1 to speed up a little bit. Don't really intend to make the videos overly long. Off to the carbon. A lot of workers off there. You can see just 3 on the food here, so definitely looking like a mounty angle here. A lot more workers on food at the moment for Hunter here. What to say? I'm just waiting for a troop centre to be built. 30 carbon away. Place the foundation. There we go. So, T1 Mounty opener. So at this point I need to maybe just grab up a little bit of Nova if I intend to keep doing it, or it might just be the initial mount. We'll see how it plays out. They're going to rally onto Nova, so I get a little bit of extra Nova, and this guy will just run back and forth to the command centre, dropping 10 at a time. You need 20 for a Mountie, so every 2 trips he'll have afforded another Mountie here. Also means it can be a little bit more blasé about when you get basic training, providing you're on the defensive as well. He was going to get out, and we're going to get it initially. I'm getting it right now. Could have kept that Nova in the bank just now. Lacking a little bit of food to queue this up right now. Power core is on the way though. And I'm going to start it now. It looks like it's a very crisp timing for him there. Being able to afford the worker and the mounting. And might have to food drop again to get another worker queued. You're going to have this food processor and these EOPs to eat. However, it's sort of looking like disaster here for Hunter as he's going into the farms now. He doesn't have his own troop centre or power core, and because he's spending all this carbon towards farms to get food, it's going to really play into the favour of the Mounties because he's not going to have anything to contest them. And his worker's going to be overextended here onto these EOPs too, and they're just out in the open. Mountie's going to come in and start damaging them. He's going to have to stop building farms, think about getting a troop centre close to the command centre, get some trooper recruits out to weather this storm. The second Mountie here, that DPS is going to double, and the scout could actually be getting involved, but he's been a bit idle at the moment. He could be forcing the workers to stop and fight and bug up their AI and make sure they die to the Mounties. And one worker does go down. Right, does have enough to tech up, but not hitting, he's just sort of distracted. Could at the very least be on his way to T2 and get some turrets or something. It's not a building rule issue, right? We got 3 buildings here. A lot of food we're sitting on. Don't know if he thinks he's going to T2 or just unlocked himself or what. I'm kind of at a loss why we're just sitting in T1. Things back at home, just slowly adding on all the extra food, right? To catch back up, because you've sort of sacrificed your early game food just to get this early carbon infrastructure up and get these units out. Plus you're putting like say 60 food per rotation into these Mounties too. Up to 4 mounties now with nothing really to contest. You can go straight for the power core and get some damage on it while it can't be repaired. A trooper recruit's going to come out here and try to bully these guys off. And very good micro run back forth. Does lose that one, unfortunately going to lose the other one as well. And sort of petering out here, I guess. But I think he's got a very he's definitely caught up, I think, just by how much like Hunter's delayed his own T2. Could have been T2 a little while ago. Could have got like a turret maybe within range of the command center, and that would maybe free him up to be able to push out with the trooper recruits as troopers. And he wants to doesn't want to lose these. He needs to kite properly. We get some shots in here as he moves away, but doesn't, and he does lose 2 of them, and he's losing a lot of his counter-attack potential because he can only really build these one at a time with one troop center, and he does need to get the upgrades too. And that's bought a lot of time for Raphiel here to catch things up. He should be on his way to T2 now. Just a way to click the button. Good defensive way out of the base. Even got some workers on ore here if he needs to get some turrets, I'm guessing. Very comfortable position, and he's even got more mounties than there are troopers now as well. So he can come in and maybe take a trade or delay things, distract some shots to the scout. He's just trying to keep Hunter in his base here, so he gets much more time to catch up to T2. And I think he's maybe just going to play towards a T3 with all the workers on ore. Maybe make some turrets around his base. Just utilise all the food that he's gathering right now from a lot of these farms that he's built towards just clicking that button. So he's already about 500 food. And again, there's not really any potential to counter-attack. He's trying to move out now, but as he is, he's snuck around the edge of the map here and he's going to try and get in. There's not really been any defensive turrets placed. So the troopers are going to feel like they need to come back and deal with this, I think. And he's built a couple here he's going to use to defend. That's fine. He's trying to get across to do some damage, but the window was 5 minutes ago. Spaceport and the mech factory. The base almost sort of closed out. Going to be double turret at the carbon here. And there could even be a turret here at the ore if he wanted. Can afford that. It wouldn't even be that bad because it's just ensuring he's not going to lose anything to the counter attack. And looking at the farm count, you know, it would take a long time for Hunter here to get up to T3. So he's sort of supply blocked at the moment. 500 carbon, no food. Desperately looking to get some damage in. Feels like he really needs to, but things are just not looking very good at all. There's no follow up after this. It's sort of all or nothing here. A little bit of a gap here, but you know, one prefab and that's closed. Coming back to Raphiel, halfway to T3 now. Building a bit of a gate here. He has to walk through the command center to get in, and then even then it's sort of a killing field with these turrets and stuff. Bringing a pet Rancor with him. Kill off a farm. Not much damage in the grand scheme of things here. Now these troopers are going to feel super useless now that Raphiel's T3. Grab these markers on the ore since he never built a turret here, I think. Try and hide them. Looks like he's walking towards the turrets in the carbon. And a quick garrison, I'm going to double the amount of beams coming out there. Strike mech popping out too, and these guys, as I said, it's like a killing zone, right? They're just getting murdered here in this area. And I'm just going to resign now. Head into the next game here. Last game going to be Confederacy. So we got 4 nerfs, a couple of EOPs, so 6, maybe 8 nerfs, yeah. 8 nerfs for each player it should be. And Confederacy, very good civ for Mountie openers because you get basic training automatically. So that 50 Nova that you would normally be putting that way, you can put aside for Mountie activities. But it's not really looking like there's any other food other than those EOPs. So I think we're going to want to eat the nerfs, at least a couple of them. This will be a good map for it because there's going to be farms, a lot of farms needed to be made to get to T2. It's kind of like eat nerfs until you can sustain yourself with farms. Let's keep an eye on the counts here. So that's the 8 for Hunter has been secured. I think Raphiel is about the same. It's fine. Where did those 2 go? Oh, he didn't get them. I thought he did. It's kind of weird where they spawn. They spawned really obnoxiously far. Oh, he's going to go for the OPs here. It's not too bad. The nerfs ticking away will definitely help deal with the downtime of having to walk over here and stuff. And then it'll feel quite good when the food's injected, like from these 3 OPs into the economy. It's just a little bit of downtime. Might maybe put him down like a worker behind, but it might pay off and feel a little bit better afterwards. Could have maybe potentially like mounted after this. He's going to drop a farm. Okay. I'm just going to play a very straight up game. He's going to get these 2 extra nerfs though. To be fair, he might not even know. I guess he could assume since he's got 8, his opponent should have 8, but he's going to sneak them anyway. To be fair, if I saw them over there, I would think they're mine, because it's really weird where they spawned. Kind of too close to Hunter. So I have no food problems here. Looks like Raphiel does find these 3 OPs, I'm going to go for them as well. Just a little bit later. But he has kept the production going on. Quick look, and we'll just see where things stand. Was it actually translated 3 workers ahead? I don't know. Maybe underestimated how much of a gap there was here, not eating a nerf. Probably should have just eaten one of the nerfs then done this, I guess. 3 workers is quite a lot. And a lot of workers getting sent up here. 7 for these 3 OPs. They got to come back as well, which is the unfortunate thing. With all that downtime walking back and forth. I think 7's maybe a little bit too much. So they're finishing them off quite quickly. It's not like the idols here. Need to get back involved. This guy's been stun locked by the scout shooting at the farm. It's a big idle time. Second car moving down. So both players are just going to go into farms. There's probably some sort of little mounty window there after eating the OPs, I'd have thought. Just because you could maybe like, you would have less workers, you know, on food. Confeds would really make it feel easier as well, because you wouldn't have to like put workers to go and get Nova. Cut a lot of corners. So almost up to about 500 food here. Nerf's really helping out with that passive food income. The troop center are going to get dropped first here for Raphiel. Both players are at about that 500 food count. What are these guys up to? Wow. And troop center for Hunter being dropped as well. Scout being very annoying here. Will we see a retaliation? The coffee pouring ASMR. Do we need more farms? Why are we not going to T2? boy's playing like he's playing Age of Empires 2 right now, I swear. Try to get to the specific worker about. Please go T2. What are you doing? T2. What the hell? This is gonna be like the first game where you just knock T2 and there's troopers walking across. Ah. At least he's got a troop center, a power core and stuff. Again, the base is not very close though. It's not. The buildings are all there as well. Like even without these, we've got the building rule. It's very even in food. God, he's got so much food. What is going on? Try to do some sort of defensive T2 into T3. Losing 2 workers for it though. Trying to get that trooper upgrade. No range yet for these. Oh, trooper's been. He needs to get some turrets maybe. Tell you what, if he got some turrets and then he just like went T3, he'd be okay. So like the way that this has worked out. I feel like providing this wasn't built and 2 turrets were dropped here and it just went like Spaceport, War Center or something like that. He could T3. Do have nerfs. Definitely made too many farms, I suppose. Like early on. I will comply. Oh dear, that guy rallying to his death. You just have so much food. Nothing to do with it. I mean, Raphiel going back on the defensive now too. Good stall, like just stop making troopers. Spaceport. Going to war. Building 2 turrets. This food gap's gonna get caught up soon now, since he's built all these farms now. He doesn't have range, so he's just gonna lose this trade, be on the defensive, and then he's gonna start losing like the north part of his base. Farms are gonna get harassed from an angle. Yeah, I think it really could have squeezed in a T3 here. Acknowledge. A lot more troopers coming across. And now Raphiel actually going to be closer to getting to T3 since he's building one of the buildings. Oh, that's what it is, right? Because he's going to have so many more nerfs. He's got like 5 more nerfs, isn't he? When you think about it, because there's 6 more nerfs because he's eaten 2. Because he's eaten 2. It's actually 6. That's where all this extra food's come from. But it's just wasted, right? Because there's nothing being done with it. Nothing interesting. Could have at the very least added in an early war center here. Get the upgrades. I think there's a real potential to just do like the 1 TC thing here. Just because I don't think Raphael really had a lot of troopers out. Sort of hard pressed to get like a real zerg of them towards Hunter here. They could have sort of traded somewhat evenly. Just because that the way it works with those initial troopers getting out to get some damage done. There's a little bit of a lapse between that point and him sorting out his economy afterwards. That little bit of downtime, the tech buildings could have went up, maybe one turret defensively. And a lot of troopers rallying in here. They're just keeping Hunter sort of pinned in his base. I feel quite good with the map control he's got, not really worrying about counterattacks. Did build 2 turrets just to be very safe. But I don't think they were at any point been necessary this game. The way that it's panned out. And spawn count does not really feel good. Doesn't at least have the CC covering like this part here. It doesn't have range still, oh dear. Raphael not quick to let them know about that one. You might interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake, right? Like Sun Tzu. And the War Center upgrades here as well. And the count getting bigger and bigger. And I think you could threaten the power core now. Force a trade here and then you can just shoot the power core uncontested. With the plus damage upgrade, they'll kill it a lot quicker now as well. There we go. And yeah, I would have liked to see some sort of T3 attempt made with all those extra nerfs. I think it was kind of asking for it, just having all that food. And power core going down now. It's going to feel pretty bad. You can just walk in and start killing farms and stuff. Be on his way to T3. And I got a lot of food here. Just going to call it there. So, anyway, GG's. Interesting gameplay to see. I hope you've all enjoyed that. If anyone's interested, I believe the Expanding Fronts guys are trying to get people together to play community multiplayer games. I'll put an invite link down to their Discord down below if you're not a part of that. But if you are, if you look in the announcements there, you'll see where they're sort of doing that and they're organising that within their Discord. And as always, there'll be an invite link to our GBG Discord, with sort of our random map sort of community there. Where you can get involved, and we've sort of got like sort of skill levels and try to help people organise games and stuff, since it kind of needs a bit of a push in that direction because it's such a dead game and there's not a lot of people playing. So need that sort of intermediary thing in Discord to keep people informed that games are happening and try and get everyone together at the same time to get an actual multiplayer game going. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.